Today we're diving into 5 bizarre and unexpected side effects of ashwagandha that you need to know before adding it to your wellness routine. We'll also cover how to manage these side effects and discuss the best alternative to ashwagandha if it doesn't work for you. So let's get started. Also, real quick guys, before we get started, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button down below, and if you enjoy the content, turn the bell on to stay up to date with new weekly videos. We talk about all things hair, skin, and health. So if that's something you're into, definitely consider subscribing. Firstly, what is ashwagandha? It's an evergreen shrub, part of the nightshade family from the plant Withania somnifera that grows in Nepal, Africa, India, and the Middle East. It's an adaptogen, meaning it helps the body adapt to stress, and it contains natural compounds called withanolides, specifically withanone and withaferin A, which are believed to be responsible for the benefits you've heard of. There are other alkaloids and saponins too that are responsible for some of the benefits as well, which we have discussed in these videos here. Especially this one where I talk about all the forms of ashwagandha, which I highly encourage you to watch right after this one, since KSM66 might not be best for everyone. And below, I left my current favorite ashwagandha product for you. It's by Thorne. It's their stress balance, which is about $20 for 60 capsules. It's not sponsored, but it is an affiliate link and does support the channel should you wish to purchase through it. You have the option to sign up with your purchase with me, and you'll receive 10 to 15% discounts every now and then for all your favorite supplements. Now, the most common uses of ashwagandha in the US are, as you know, reducing stress and anxiety and promoting better sleep. Some use it for fertility and muscle growth as well, but arguably the most studied use cases for managing stress and cortisol in the body. You see, our fight or flight response evolved to help us either fight or flee from predators, right? But nowadays, our bodies are responding to other triggers. It's not the lions we need to be worried about. It's the sirens in the street or an email from your boss and the occasional road rage. We're interpreting these triggers as if they were physical threats. And when we get chronically activated, our sympathetic nervous system triggers the release of stress hormones, such as adrenaline and cortisol. And it's this abnormal release of these hormones that has many of those negative effects in our body over time, the big one being increased inflammation. But it can also affect our digestion and metabolism too when it's out of whack. Ashwagandha seems to counteract our sympathetic nervous system and decrease the abnormal release of stress hormones, almost like helping our bodies to cope with the everyday stress and bring some balance back. So that's where ashwagandha can be an advantage for some folks. But with that said, ashwagandha for some can have some bizarre side effects, and you should know of them before starting, with the first one being emotional numbness. It's supposed to calm the mind by reducing cortisol. But this calming effect for some folks can sometimes blunt your emotional range, and this is because it influences GABA receptors in the brain, which help regulate mood and stress. And when GABA activity is heightened, you may just feel too overly calm, almost to the point of apathy. So what do you do? So let's say if you've tried it and it suppressed your emotional highs and lows and left you feeling disconnected from your surroundings, you may have to reduce your dose. So if you're taking 600 milligrams daily, try cutting it down to 300 milligrams or less as a starting point. We could discuss in the comments some further options too if you're experiencing that. Secondly, ashwagandha may cause digestive issues and stomach pain for some folks. This includes anything ranging from nausea, diarrhea, or stomach cramps when you first start taking it, and this is most likely because of the withanolides. They're known to irritate the stomach lining, especially if you're taking it on an empty stomach. And because it's an adaptogen, the gut-brain communication has to have some time to adjust to it. So one way to get around this issue is to always take it with food to reduce that irritation. Start with a smaller dose as well, around 150 to 200 milligrams, and gradually increase it as your body adjusts. Keep in mind the KSM66 version does include milk because the extraction process pre-treats the ashwagandha roots with milk. So if you have a dairy intolerance, that could actually be the cause. The third bizarre side effect is that it can cause extreme fatigue for some folks. While ashwagandha is great for promoting relaxation, it can sometimes be too much. And this is because it will enhance GABA activity, like we mentioned earlier, which can make you feel sleepy actually, especially during the day. And if you're already well rested or taking it alongside other calming supplements like magnesium, the combination can sometimes be too sedating for some folks. So a good way to get around this is to take it at night rather than during the day. Also, it makes sense to lower your dose to have less fatigue, but it can be that you're taking a version of ashwagandha that is also too strong, like Shodan, for example, that is said to be at 35% with analides. A 35% concentration with analides could just be too sedating for you. So look at the back of your ashwagandha bottle and see what the percentage of with analides you have. KSM 66 is usually standardized to 5%. Also, another tip here I would give you is some manufacturers will also add GABA in the ingredients of your ashwagandha. Some bottles of U Theory have both, so keep that in mind. The fourth bizarre side effect is hormonal imbalance. Wait a minute. I thought it was supposed to balance out your hormones because it's an adaptogen. In some cases, for some folks, it does the opposite. For example, ashwagandha can increase testosterone levels, right, which is beneficial for some, but doing so will lead to acne, oily skin, or even menstrual irregularities for some folks, which can explain the acne when you started it. Another example is its effect on the thyroid hormones, which can also be problematic. People with hyperthyroidism might experience overstimulation, leading to symptoms like anxiety or heart palpitations, which is why it's really important to talk to your healthcare provider first to see if you are a good candidate for ashwagandha before you take it. Some even report anger and feeling easily irritated by their coworkers, friends, and family, but others report it allows them to be more chill around them, so there is that too. And lastly, the fifth bizarre side effect is that you will score better on the DISF, which is the Derogative Interview for Sexual Functioning score, because we have a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study of 50 healthy male that showed us that there's an 88.5% greater probability in improving 5 areas: sexual cognition, arousal, behavior, orgasm, and desire, which can come in clutch for some folks. But let's say if you're experiencing unwanted side effects with ashwagandha and that's too bothersome and you want an alternative, the best option is Rhodiola rosea, which we talk about in this video. Rhodiola is another adaptogen that reduces stress, enhances energy, and supports cognitive function without the sedating or hormonal effects of ashwagandha, which you can find below as well. But I'm more curious to hear from you guys now. What are your thoughts on ashwagandha? Leave me them below, and if you found value in this video, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.